This show is sponsored by Horizon HVAC, who you can count on for all of your heating and cooling needs. The reason why I started this podcast was for this exact reason. You know, I've had both of you guys on the podcast before. We ended up forming a relationship. Now we're doing business together. Both of you guys have been giving me advice, man. I mean, it's super appreciated, and thank you guys for coming on again.
For sure, pleasure.
So Tessa Moreland, I'm getting involved with the company called Game Day. It's a clinic, right? It's the guy that came on recently.
Lorenzo?
No, Jeff.
Lorenzo, this other dude.
That dude, Jeff Driscoll.
Okay.
Awesome guy. After the podcast, he was showing interest in how I can get involved in the company somehow. You know, promoting it, marketing it, branding it.
Sure.
It's something I've been wanting to do for a long time, get involved in something like that. So we're working out some details right now and figuring out how I can get involved. But some of the things that I started doing while I was there was, one, Tessa Moreland. Ask her, what happened to my waist after I started doing Tessa Moreland?
Literally shrunk within 2 weeks. It was incredible.
Bro, it eats away at your stomach fat, and it gives you that shape. It's unreal. It's the best thing I've ever done, the best peptide I've ever done.
So does that do anything to your appetite?
Nope.
What is it doing to the fat?
It's
burning it. It's just melting it away. It works hand in hand simultaneously. The two of them together,
Ash,
unmatched.
pull up Tessa Moreland really quick.
Pill? What is it?
No,
it's a shot. You put it right in your stomach like you're doing with the test. It's every day. Tessa Moreland is a synthetic peptide that mirrors the action of naturally occurring hormone called growth hormone, releasing blah, blah, blah. Function of use, how it works. Let's see. Synthetic analog hormone that simulates the release of growth hormone, binds to the receptors in the pituitary gland, triggering the release of GH.
So it's a growth hormone.
It's a growth hormone.
It stimulates the growth.
Go down a little bit.
Right.
Reversing your aging.
So there's that, right? All right, right here. Visceral fat reduction may help reduce visceral fat, which is linked to various health risks.
There you go.
Visceral fat, meaning, stomach fat, back fat, love handles and stuff like that.
I do believe that when you can only do these things for a certain amount of time, and when you get off it, if you don't change your lifestyle, if you go back to the way you lived before, it's going to come right back.
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely. It's to be used as a tool, and once you create those new habits, then you should be able to continue on without that tool.
How do you think all these people are going to feel that are taking Ozempic and then are now walking around skinny, and they're loving being skinny? They love it. When they get off Ozempic because they're having some sort of medical complications, whatever, and then they go back to being big again, they're going to be miserable, 10 times miserable than they was when they were big before, because they had it and now they don't no more.
Yeah, but that's why you have a choice. You have choices, and if you make the wrong choices, then that's on you. If you're miserable because you can't get yourself right, then
It's supposed to give you the tools in order to learn those certain tools, so when you do get off, you're prepared and you know what to do.
It's nice to have a little push, but if you're not gonna keep that momentum going, you're better off just staying the way you are.
Or just locking down the discipline.
Yep, locking down the discipline. Listen, nothing, and this man will tell you better than anybody, nothing good comes easy.
Yeah,
Work, none of it.
Yeah.
So get in the gym, exercise, eat right, start there. If that's not working for you, then you can try all this other stuff. You know what I mean? But you got to change the way you live.
What did you feel when your test levels went from 250 to 1100? What are some of the changes?
I think it was the energy.
Yeah.
For me, it was the energy and the strength. Like I was like plateaued, and I'm like, I go 7 days a week. I'm here. I'm not drinking. I'm eating well during the day. I'm like, something's wrong. There's no possible way. I'm not getting any stronger. I'm not getting like more cut. Like something's wrong. And then I did that, and I was like, aha, this is what it is. It was like my levels were just too low, so normalize that, and I saw a difference. I was like, this makes all the difference in the world. It just gives you that little boost that you need to just make everything to the next level.
Now I bet you cannot wait to go to the gym.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy how it does that?
Can't wait.
Now the gym holds precedence because you're so excited.
100%.
You're
strong and you have you have your energy.
And I can't wait to get through the 2 periods when I'm supposed to use my stuff to make sure that, you know what I'm saying? Like the 2 times a week that it's time to put it in.
Yep.
It's just like, all right, I feel it. Like it kicks in. Boom, I'm good.
The best thing, and I'm not this, so I'm not saying that I am, but the best thing is to be somebody who's 50 years old and be in shape or jacked, healthy. You know, that's when you're really winning.
Yeah.
Anybody can be 30 years old and jacked.
Listen,
100%.
We all do things in life, especially us in this room. We do things to get an edge in life, right? We'll do whatever it takes to get to the goals that we're trying to reach. This is just one of those things that I think everybody at a high level is doing. You're hacking into your biochemistry to try to learn how to be your best version.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Look, so this is like an entrepreneurial type of podcast, right? So dig into it. How many really overweight successful people do you see?
I don't see much, and when I do see them, I don't. I'll say this, and I'll
Goes
get
hand in hand.
I'll get shit for saying this, but I don't take them serious.
You don't take them serious. If somebody doesn't take care of themselves, how can you possibly take them serious? I mean, I'll listen to them, but
Yeah.
Partner with them or something. I mean, you're gonna meet somebody that's messed up, but they're actually good people.
Yeah.
But that's far and in between.
Most of the time, they're full of shit, and like you said, if they can't hold themselves accountable, then they're most likely not going to be able to hold themselves accountable in the real world too.
If they don't have discipline in that function, are they going to have it in business? Are they going to have it when it comes to money? Or
Even just work ethic.
Yeah,
Correct.
Just work ethic, which is the building block of like success.
Yeah. I read something that said having a beard makes you like 80% chance of being less successful. If you think about it, there are no billionaires with beards.
I read that too.
Yeah, imagine that.
Very
Never
few
thought
have
about that, right?
facial hair.
No billionaires with beards.
You say with the difference. I used to have a big beard when I met her.
Yeah.
Time to shave.
Yeah, and I shaved, and it was just definitely was kind of
Night and day.
Night and day.
It was a little bit of a game changer.
You feel more professional?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I think people get scared. Like if you walked in a room, people are scared of you.
I look like a biker.
Right, right off the rip, they're like, "Oh, she's scary. Like I'm scared of this guy."
They're watching the silverware.
Correct, and they're like, "Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out."
It's true.
And at the end of the day, you shave that, people are like, "All right."
I can
perception is wild.
promise you, they'd be more worried about me if I shaved.
I don't know what that looks like.
It's like I
but
got
yeah.
this beard for a reason.
Yeah,
But I think back to the other thing, like it shows if people do keep in shape, it shows delayed gratification. Like this person's willing to work
Huge point.
every day, all the time, and doesn't want something to come immediately.
Sure.
So like that to me is like, okay, they get it. They're not hit it and quit it. They're not trying to win the lottery. They're trying to be in it for the long game. And then I think the other thing is the presence that someone has in the room, whether it's a room of 5 people or 5,000 people, when they are in shape versus not being in shape, I think builds instant credibility and validity that a lot of people take for granted.
It's no secret that life is easier for attractive people.
Correct.
It's just what it is. And I know a lot of people are going to give us shit for saying this, but unfortunately, this is the way the world works.
Yeah.
And people that are built a certain way or carry themselves a certain way, it's just the way it is. Yeah.
It's just reality.
It's just reality.
And it is what it is. And I think at the end of the day, you look at it and you say I'm 42. I don't know how old you guys are or whatever. I don't know your age.
Almost 50.
You're almost 50, 38.
40. I'm the oldest guy here.
So there's a point in time, though, where you either give up and you just say, I'm just going to give up and let age take over and let, father time take over, or you're going to keep trying to be better and better and better. And I look younger at 42 than I looked at 32.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the thing is being aware enough that, hey, the day and age that we're in now, you can do things to kind of make things look better, feel better, be in better shape, be in better condition, present yourself in a better way. And I think that's where people need to find the happy medium.
I can probably speak for you when I say at no point in the day are you ready to crush it more than when you leave the gym.
Of course.
You're hungry. For whatever, you're ready to look at it, just get every deal out of the way. You're hungry.
It's that and my vision's never clearer. Like, I feel like the mindset that puts me in is like, I could run through a wall. You're not going to stop me.
Yeah.
That 30, 40 minutes thereafter, it's like, all right, I remember my mission. Job's not finished. Get back to it.
I don't know how you can go to the gym and focus with phone ringing.
No, I go at 6 in the morning, phone's down.
So
I got
no
a personal trainer, no phone. I literally don't even take a sip of water. I go 30 minutes straight, nonstop.
You work out fasted?
Yep, I don't eat.
You lift weights fasted? Fuck.
Yeah.
And I got to the most, I did 275 3 times. I don't think I did that when I played college basketball. That's the most I ever lifted, and I did it at 42.
They say it's imperative to lift heavy weights in your older years, in your 40s and 50s, than it is when you're young.
I heard that too.
One of the biggest issues with growing old is mobility issues. And so you should lift as heavy as you can for as long as you can, 60s, 70s, to prevent those mobility issues. Yeah, it's very important.
And at the end of the day, each one of us could die tomorrow, but at least if you go out there every day, you put your best effort in, you try to stay in the best shape you can be in, like you're doing everything you can.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You look 100 times better.
Yeah, you look great.
Like the last time I saw you, bro, you had like bags on your eyes. You looked stressed. Like, I don't know about stress, but the just difference between then and now is like game changer. And I don't think you were on test back then, right?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
Well,
Crazy.
you can. So you're here now. I can see the gym in you.
Yeah.
But you know, some guys I go to the gym every day. You can't see it.
Yeah.
No, you could.
Nah,
tell
you stop it. I thank you, but you can't see it.
Yeah.
I mean, you still got to build.
You
though.
still got-
You're not
yeah,
like
I'm
yeah.
just
scrawny.
stocky.
Yeah, stocky.
But I can see your structure now.
Yeah.
So you're there where there's so much incentive now to go and exercise.
I mean, I always went. It just didn't. It
didn't click.
It just didn't get to that point.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's as a man, it's important, and as a female, I'm sure there's other levels to check on that side. But see where you're at.
yeah.
Why play with one oar when you can have both oars in the water? And I was
That's what
like,
I'm saying.
it made no sense to not.
Wait till you guys start really like checking out different peptides. Like NAD plus is huge. That gives me an incredible amount of energy. Makes me feel just on you know that feeling when you're just on that flow state. When you do NAD, it's kind of like that flow state all the time.
Yeah.
It's
need
really
that.
beneficial.
I'm the oldest guy here. So
Yeah.
you can imagine. So
Do you go? What clinic do you go to?
same one, Anderson.
Oh, it's Anderson.
That's the
Yeah.
guy
Yeah,
in
we went
Johnson.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're a good company.
Place
Yeah.
is beautiful though.
It's
inside.
beautiful.
He did a good job. With
I've
it.
been with him for like 4 years now.
He's a good guy. I like the guy.
Isn't it? But you said, like, take some of your own
I
shit.
said that to him. I said, buddy, come on,
Hey,
man.
the
I
biggest
messed
thing
with
I
him.
got.
I get nervous that he doesn't take it.
That was one of my thoughts.
You're gonna buy
too.
weed from a guy that don't smoke?
I was like, this is. I said the same thing in my head. I'm like, little interesting that he's not on it.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
Well, where's the correlation with that? Because this guy's not on it either. Jeff's not on it
I
either.
saw that. I didn't think he was.
That was the first thing that people, and Jeff, I love you, but that was the first thing that I got was, well, if it's so great, why isn't he taking it?
The weirdest thing, I went to one time in Coventry years ago. The doctor, all hot girls.
Yeah, that's what
Really?
you got to do.
Four.
I mean, that's the play.
I don't know if they're nurses or what.
obviously work makes sense,
But it's like, okay, this is what testosterone. All right, let's do it.
right?
It's a sale. Yeah, it's sales, bro. It's sales 101.
Exactly.
It's sales 101.
Hell of a marketing scheme.
Since we were last here with both of you guys, we had some shit go down in Rhode Island in the real estate world. We had the Chris Albin raid. What do you guys think of that? I mean, listen, I brought the kid around a couple people, and I even hit you up, and I'm like, bro, I don't want people to link that kid's name with my name because, I mean, he was. Did we bring him here?
Yeah.
he
Well,
was.
he was
with
watching.
you actually.
Yeah, with me.
Yeah, and then you guys linked up, and he was throwing around some crazy deals with you. And
You brought him here with me, and then you had him sitting on the couch, and then you said, I didn't know who it was, and you said, what do you think about that Chris Albin guy? And I didn't know who he was.
But I told you, right? I said,
No, you didn't tell me at first.
I said,
think
do your homework.
I think you thought I automatically thought I knew who he was.
Yeah.
And that,
Yeah.
And I was gonna say something like, "Oh, I heard X, Y, and Z," and I didn't. And I didn't because I'm like, this is gonna go out to everybody, so let me not get too crazy. Thank God I didn't because he was sitting right there.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a dick to the guy.
Did you know him?
Nah, I don't know him at all. I don't know anything about him. One time he called me and said, I want to come to your office. Look, I'll buy deals no matter what. If it's a deal I'm interested, bring it my way.
Definitely.
I'm all in on deals. I love real estate. I'm a deal junkie, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just love deals. I love flipping stuff. I love wholesaling. I just love that.
Yeah.
But he came, he met with me, and I was like, hey, man, look, I don't know anything about whatever that is, nor do I care. That's not my
And
business.
that was my approach at first.
I said, that's not my business.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with that. Whether you're right, wrong, guilty, not guilty, don't care. You didn't take my money. And if you did take someone's money, please give it back to them. That's how we started. And I said, but if you have deals, throw them my way. I'll look at them. I'll evaluate them, and we'll make it happen. And I never heard from him again. That was it.
I'll give you my Chris Albin observation, right? He probably got into and I don't know, I know his thing is ongoing. I don't know if he did any of the stuff that they said he did. I know right now it's all accusations. But
safe to say, I think he did.
that is a testament to how hard it is to make money in real estate, right? The misconceptions and the pitfalls and the barriers that we have to overcome every day. There's this big misconception out there. Real estate creates wealth. Real estate is easy. Buy for $1, sell for 20. Chris probably would sit here and tell you, shit, it's not that easy. Because he had somebody giving him money, right? Hundreds of thousands of dollars. He still couldn't make it work.
Well,
I will stop you right now. I had a fund where we were raising money. We still have it. We were raising money, and we were paying out 10% to our investors. And I guarantee you that, when I decide to go back into that, real estate, when you know it well enough, is easy enough to generate 10% returns for those investors.
I agree.
and to take those funds and to generate a profit or develop whatever you're going to do with them, whether you're going to put them into other projects or developments. But you need to invest with someone that's done it, that's been there, that understands it, that has the volume.
As the investor, you're saying?
Yeah, so if you're going to invest in a fund with us, we have the volume that can say, hey, give me $20 million. I can put that to work, get you 10% on your money, and then go ahead and put $20 million out there and do projects and whatnot. The problem is when you don't have the volume, it's impossible. And the only way to have the volume is to be in the game.
Yeah. He's not in the game.
That's what I'm saying.
He's
so,
not in
like,
the game.
it's easy to do if you have the right inroads to projects. But if you don't understand the game, like if I gave you that, you could put that to work.
For sure.
Yeah.
If you gave it to me, I could put that to work.
But we have motion. We're moving.
Correct.
Right? For me to give $300,000 to somebody who has no background in real estate, of no knowledge, and then say, "Oh,
it's hard to put that to work.
It's so
You're
hard
going
to
to
put
lose
that to work,
because they don't even know what they're analyzing.
Yeah.
Never mind how to get
Yeah.
started. But it's you got to know who you're investing with.
So after talking to him a few times, I realized that, okay, he's probably not a bad guy, but he's trying to figure it out. He's on the prop stream. A lot of these websites are selling dreams. Prop stream and all these, analytical websites that are selling all these leads. Yeah, you can buy a bunch of leads, but you got to work them.
Yeah.
You got to work them. You're better off knocking on doors, just random doors saying, hey, you want to sell your house, than being on a prop stream chasing people down. And that's when I talked to him, that's what he was doing. He was kind of fishing for deals.
He was running meta ads.
It seems like he had good intentions. To me, it seems like he had good intentions, and then he probably grabbed money from somebody, and this is pure speculation. He probably grabbed money from somebody thinking he was going to flip it, spend a few dollars, fuck. I spent all this guy's money. All right,
Yeah,
let me
it's
move on.
exactly.
You can't do that, dude.
You can't do that. This is Rhode Island.
I wouldn't spend $1 of anybody's money, bro.
so
Like
you
I would
can't-
put it in and I have
that's how
multiple
the fund
accounts.
works.
I would put it in an account. I
let me
wouldn't
ask
touch
you
it
this.
unless it went towards that project.
Let me ask you this: somebody gave you $500,000, and you got to give them a 10% return every month, and then you didn't do a deal with that $500,000.
I wouldn't
and sit
take
in
it
the
unless
bank.
I had a deal lined up. I wouldn't take
You
it.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're gonna pay him. You're gonna pay him the $5,000 out of their $500,000. You're gonna.
We do it now. I mean, how we do the fund is if it's not to work, I still pay the juice on the 10% for a year. But at the end,
Right, win or lose.
Yeah, but I'm not going to take that money and go buy a car.
Yeah.
That money is in an SEC registered fund that we have, and it's only for real estate investment.
And if you
that's
lose
the
on the
difference.
deal, then you
I
lose on
still
the
pay
deal.
the
You eat
people.
it.
Yeah,
Right.
I eat it,
you
not
eat it.
them.
Right.
I'm not going to take someone's money and let them eat it.
What
I
he-
would eat it.
What he just said is the big difference between a lot of lenders and lending institutions here in Rhode Island, and I know some big guys that are not SEC compliant, right?
Correct.
Yeah, there's
I'm
some
a
guys
SEC registered
that are
fund.
lending huge amounts of money, and in a sense, I don't want to overreach, but if those lenders that lent this organization the money, if they cashed in, there might be a Ponzi scheme at play, right? Because these guys, we're talking about $50, $60, $70 million. If everybody said, hey, I want my money tomorrow, they can't
Can't get it back.
they can't get liquid on that in a couple months. Absolutely not.
So is it shame on the investors for not doing their homework and investing in with a guy? Because not for nothing, the kid was not a salesman. He was. I'm
that
sorry, but he was
shows
dumb
you-
as rocks. I mean,
That
the
shows
way.
you anyone can raise money.
Yeah, right. I know.
Well, listen, he had a good background. He was a Marine, clean cut guy. He looked the part, and everyone is, and that goes back to what I said earlier. Everyone is so eager to invest in real estate. They think that they're gonna, put out $10 and get back $100, and he just basically sold that dream to the right person with money.
I caught a good friend that was about to give him $350,000.
Yeah, that's good.
And I called him up. I'm like, bro, listen, I'm not going to tell you what to do. Just Google the kid.
Yeah.
Do your homework. Just be smart. And he called me back. Like, I think he got arrested or something happened the following week. And he was like, bro, thank you. Like, 'cause I was about to he knows someone that gave him $1 million, bro.
So Chris,
$1 million.
Chris has a relationship with this podcast, so I get the whole Chris thing. But me and Kyle know 20 Chris's.
Yeah, there's
30
plenty of
Chris's.
people that have done stuff like that.
Yeah, we
that
could
take
sit
money
there and
and
we could trade
he's
cards.
just one.
Yeah,
There's
and he's
plenty
not
of people that do
he's
that.
not even a big one. Like we know some big ones.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I never heard of the guy before, and before like here in the Go Local thing, I never heard of him. I never. If you put him in a room, I wouldn't even know who he was.
I never heard of him until Go Local, and then from Go Local I met him
Ballbusters.
here. Yep. Yeah, I never heard of him, and I thought it was weird that they were saying he ran a Ponzi scheme, but it's only because he swindled one guy who's not a real estate,
Correct.
a typical real estate lender. So he
and that had the money to blow him out of the water.
That was the guy. There was one guy.
Yeah.
That did him.
So that's why we
did
never
him
heard
over.
of him. It's got to be really hard for you to be a real estate guy, and me, him, you, none of us heard of you.
So how do you guys work around that with all these just kind of? I mean, you send me guru stuff all the time on Instagram, and we laugh and we're like, dude, is that kid serious? Some of the stuff that these people make is out of this world, and to think that I think they actually think they're being serious and that people are resonating with that content. How do you guys work around that, and how do you guys kind of weed out the snakes like that?
I've been the guy that's been taking advantage a lot in the last 10 years. I've invested in a lot of stuff outside of real estate that has lost and big money because I took people's word for it, and I was like, okay, this guy's really good at XYZ. Let me invest some money in him or her. They really know this game. They love it. They're all about it, but they don't have any money. Let me try to fund this dream. And I would say now going forward, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done. If it's not in real estate, I don't want anything to do with it. Don't even go kick rocks, talk to someone else. So for me, it was a lesson that I had to go through. Unfortunately, it just sucked up a lot of cash, and now I've got to I stay in my lane. I know what I know. And if you can fool me in real estate, well, then you're a guru, because you're not. I would find no one in the U.S. or the world that can fool me in real estate.
Is there something that put that over the edge? Did you invest in the business?
Yeah, it was. There was one that just happened. I invested in I don't want to say what it was, but it was a restaurant chain, and I put up a good amount. And 6 months in, we're gonna have to sell. We're gonna have to sublet the space. We're gonna have to sell. It's just really.
Now, is
bad.
this due to lack of work ethic? Due to poor management?
It was just due to someone
no game
saying,
plan.
Yeah, someone saying, well, I didn't he put the money up. I was gonna be the operator. It's not working. And then coming to me 3 months in saying, how can we sell more chicken? I'm like, what? I don't know how to sell chicken, bro. Like, that's not my game. Like, I thought you did all this. Like, this is what you knew. And that's the last straw for me. I'm just going to stay with what I know. I'm going to stick to my game. And, if you have an idea or a wish and a dream, call someone else. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
But, I took a while to learn it. It took years and years and years.
Were you profitable and successful, though, in those ventures that you ended up
Not one.
doing? Really?
No, I haven't made $1 in anything outside of real estate.
Wow.
I've lost tons of money. Tons. The only one that's still up and running that's doing well and we're kind of learning and navigating through is cannabis.
Yeah, good.
So I still do a good job with Mike. But even that business, there's a tax law in cannabis that I wasn't aware of, that you get taxed a sales tax and then tax on your gross profit. So there's no you can't write anything off. You can't use any of your SG&A as an expense. So you get taxed. So our first year in the business, let's just say round numbers, we made a profit of $100K. Our tax liability was $150. So you got taxed more than you made. Wow. Because it's
Why does it go on your gross income, your gross revenue?
Yes, because it's not federally legal. So what happens is the state 7% to the state, 20% to the feds, and they don't allow you to expense anything. So you're taxed on your gross profit.
So how can it be profitable if you're taxed on your gross revenue?
Because you have to get your expenses so thin and so lean, and you either have to grow your own shit and sell it, or you have to have someone that works here that doesn't take a salary. So we're working through that now.
I would put that money in escrow and get all the other growers together and do a class action against the government.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
It's honestly,
I would put that tax money in escrow.
It's almost impossible to make money. I don't know how anyone makes money unless you grow your own stuff. Because our cost of goods sold is 46%.
Which is pretty good.
Very good. So our margins are good on the gross margin, right? What happens then is now you've got to pay your 20% sales tax after that, your 20% federal tax, and your 7% state tax.
It's the new
What
cigarettes.
is left,
It's the new
dude?
cigarettes.
Right.
It's like taxing tobacco.
What's left?
Alcohol and tobacco.
So they've been talking though about allowing you to expense. So until that happens, I honestly don't know. Like we could do this year, we're doing $12,000 a day in sales, and they're all happy, high fiving, and I'm like, that's worse because the more
We're getting it taxed more.
right, the more we do, the higher our tax liabilities at the end of the year.
When do you throw in the towel?
Yeah, what
I don't know.
When do you decide like what you're gonna see your books at the end of the year this year or at the end of the quarter and be like, we're still making $12,000 a day and we're only making X amount?
I don't know if it's wait and see what the government does with the tax reform because they've talked about it for 2 years now. So if they change it to a regular business, we'll do great because then it's obviously on your net income and your taxes will be less than what you made. But what ass backwards way is to get taxed on more money than you netted?
The problem is you don't know if somebody's out there lobbying.
You have no idea.
Or trying to change this, and then it could be you'll sell it, and then tomorrow, boom.
You don't know if the big companies are saying, let's weed out all these small companies. Let's keep the taxes the way it is now. Let everyone go under or sell, and then we'll change it when Walmart comes in and starts selling it.
Yep.
Or when Stop and Shop does it.
Imagine that where you can go into Walmart and buy weed.
I'm
sure it's coming.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's just like imagine when you could buy alcohol. You could never bought alcohol in Walmart before.
I think that's coming with testosterone and peptides too.
Wait till you can order weed from Amazon.
Yeah.
But to me, like I just know, man, if I could give anybody any advice at all, and I'm in a mastermind we meet tonight, and one of the things I'm going to talk about is like if you step out of your space, allocate a portion that will not bother you mentally, that if you lose it, it's gone. That would be my biggest advice because like it's
like stocks and crypto, same thing.
Yeah, it's like, all right, no, it mentally it hasn't really impacted me, but it's still frustrating to know you lost X amount in this and X amount in that. And you're relying on these people that say they're professionals and they're the best in the game, and they're awful. They have no work ethic. They don't really understand. They don't know how to market. They don't know how to sell. They don't know how to run a business. It's crazy.
That's a big part of the problem, what he just said, because this is Rhode Island. So we got to look at this guy for the next 5 years. Say, fuck, I invested money in this guy.
Yeah, true.
And you see the guy ends up not being shit, and then, damn, you kind of beat yourself up because he had you believing. You're almost ashamed to admit that you believed in this guy.
But I'm the kind of person, though, if you tell me, I say this all the time, if you tell me you can build a birdhouse, I believe you can build a birdhouse.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you can do something. If you ask me if I can do that, I would say no, I cannot do that. However, if you ask me if I could do something, I will go to the end of the world to make sure that I do it, just for my own like pride. And these people literally just lie. They flat out lie.
People are not going to have your mentality.
No, they don't care.
Yeah, they don't
and
care.
It's hard to put that in your own mind though when you think like that.
sure.
You know why? Because it's not that hard of a thing to grasp. It's really not.
I don't get it.
You would think, right?
I don't get it.
You would think.
If I can't do something, and I'll ask the person before I go into business, I will sit them and I'll say, look me right in my face. Can you do this?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, no problem. So 3 months in, we shouldn't have the conversation of, this doesn't work. I wish I knew this. No. We already did all this. So I'm just done. I'm just sticking with what I know. I know how to do real estate. I enjoy it. I like it. It's come second nature to me. I'm just staying with it.
That would be my message to my younger self, right? Just do real estate. If you could go back and tell yourself something,
100%.
Stay away from everybody.
Problem is, I think we all hit that, and I call it the nasty middle. The nasty middle is where you get bored. It's not exciting anymore. It's not something that's like, I can do it in my sleep. It's not like I don't get up every day and I'm like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? Like I've seen a lot of things.
I get that every
day. So it's how do you get through the nasty middle? And I think losing a ton of money and other shit gets me through I'm through the nasty middle now. I'm ready to go all in on real estate and crush it again.
I think something that we battle with all the time is, okay, we're doing well, we're building, we're flipping, we're doing what we do, we're making money. But we're at the top of where we can be. There's no,
You think so?
There's no, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So I mean,
without scaling massively.
Yeah. I'll never make $100 million doing what I'm doing. I mean, I can make money, and I don't want to sound, greedy. I live a very comfortable life. I do okay, but there is no next level for me.
Do you guys ever think about how to get to that next level? And I know you want to stay in real estate.
For me, it's not in real estate.
Right, but have you ever explored stocks or playing with options or crypto
Everything
or
he just
investing
said.
in something?
Everything he just said.
I did, and I lost.
You know why you lost though? Because you sold.
No. That's not how I lost.
Everything he just said
is
to me is
almost $750,000 in this FX bot.
Oh yeah,
these bots.
Those are tough.
And wiped out.
Yeah.
750 wiped out.
It was a trading bot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only wiped out one was a what do you call that? A Ponzi scheme. So now
was it BitConnect?
It was FX winning.
Oh, FX, yeah.
And it was some other
Same thing.
company. Two companies.
I would go toe to toe with you with stocks over real estate any day of the week, as far as return. I mean, unless you know something you're not supposed to know, some insider trading. But if it's just a basic stock, I mean, anybody can get lucky. But if you're putting $10,000 into a stock and you're going to put it there and let it sit there for 6, 7, 8, 10 years for it to mature, I can take that $10K.
Yeah.
I mean, I put $6,500 into a self-directed IRA. I'm up to $80K right now on a 60.
How long ago was that?
A year ago. $6,500.
Where
tax exempt.
So what is that? Where can you get involved in that? What is that?
Self-directed. So it's an IRA. It's a retirement, but it's self-directed, which means I can do investments out of that IRA. And I made one contribution of $6,500. And when I come across, and he'll understand this better than anybody, when I come across an investment that's going to yield a good return, and it's also going to yield a high tax bill, I put that in my IRA. I buy it with my IRA.
So it's a yield max. So other people are playing with that money, and you're getting a piece of the return from what they're making.
He's using it, investing it, and then he doesn't pay taxes on it. So you don't worry about 1031s.
So you're moving it around?
Correct.
Yeah. So to put it in in terms people can understand. Let's say you wanted to sell me a property, and I'll put that property under contract, and I'll take $1,000 out of my IRA, put a deposit, and then I'll assign the contract to him.
Oh, I got you.
And then I'll make $20,000 off it, and
back
that's
in IRA.
$20,000 in the IRA.
So you're making money off of that money on outside ventures.
That's
Yes.
how a lot of lenders, a lot of private lenders, they lend out of their self-directed
Got it.
And
because
then,
they don't pay taxes.
So I'm to the point now where I do loans out of my self-directed.
Correct.
So now my self-directed is generating monthly income. Plus, I'm always looking for that next. The good thing about doing self-directed IRAs in real estate is you can cherry pick the deals. I can say, "Wow, this is going to be a good one. Let me put this in there. Let me put it in my IRA." I would take that over stocks any day of the week. I just cannot put money in other people's hands, and you don't know if this guy's cheating on his wife or he dies in a plane crash.
Yeah.
The CEO of Twitter, and then
You don't want to do that. You don't want to put money in other people's hands in the stock market. You want to learn the stock market to the point where you're good enough where you can do it yourself.
Well,
That's what it comes down to.
You're putting money into a stock, which is a company, and then the company has a CEO.
And he has no control over it. That's
and
what
you have
I'm
no
saying.
control over
like
what's
Walmart,
going on.
You're not controlling Walmart
So-
hits their numbers.
So I'll be honest with you, saying, okay, you got to be in stocks for the long term. Be in real estate for the long term.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Everything's going up. So if I put $20,000 into, Amazon, and I'm going to wait, 45 years for it to mature, you can do the same thing with real estate. My opinion.
I would argue against one thing that he said was we hit the plateau of what we do now. He's right. If you don't scale it to a certain level or you don't maximize delegation or you don't kind of level up to different things, yes, for you, what you're saying, he'll never make $100 million. I would say that if you say, okay, real estate is a huge business. There's lending, there's development, there's flipping, there's wholesaling, there's being an agent, there's being a broker, there's running a team model, there's running a title company, there's running a mortgage company. So I would just say, for me, I look at it now and say, the first inning's gone. We're beyond the first inning. Let's get from inning 2 to 9, but let's make a ton of money in real estate related ventures, right? So I'm looking at how can I have a full circle of revenue driving businesses that are in real estate, but I'm able to delegate and I'm able to level up and do more, not just me going out as an agent. Because as an agent, to your point, just like you as on a flip or a wholesale side, there's only so many deals I can do in a year because I'm one person.
Right.
But I can develop a team model.
Yeah.
I can put a mortgage company, I can be a non-producing mortgage company. I can put my private lending back in place. I can do development deals where I'm building 20, 30, 40 units. So I can definitely fast lane that to a much higher level. But if I stay as a real estate agent, I can't. He's 100% right. I can only make so much.
I'm making money 5, 6, 7 different ways. He's making money 20 different ways in real estate. So obviously his opportunities are, mine are way more scarce than his. I mean,
how do you learn to what to do first? So like what I'm, and I wouldn't say struggling, but what I'm trying to figure out right now in real estate, and I'm doing my first deal right now, where to go from this. And I feel like it's maybe a little slow when you first start because you have to build that momentum and you have to build that knowledge, first of all, to know what to do.
Momentum is major.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed.
For me, it's one of the most important things.
Yeah. So how do you decide where to go from your first deal and how to keep scaling in a not quick enough time, but in an amount of time where you're profitable every quarter?
I would say momentum. I have my foot on the gas. I don't take it off. I know everything that's going on out there, and he can tell you. Somebody calls you with a deal, and you're like, bro, I got this 2 weeks ago. I'm all set.
Correct.
And it's like,
I get my own deals back sometimes.
yeah, he gets his own, and it happens to
Like
me.
people will send me back my own deal,
100%.
40 grand higher. I'm
Yeah.
like, I own the contract.
That's-
Really?
Yeah, all the time.
The property?
Yeah, like so.
Happens all the time.
Someone will send me back an address with the price, and I'm like, I play with them. I'm like, oh, that sounds like a good one. And then they'll keep asking. I'll be like, how do you get in it? And they'll give me the code. And I'm like, just so you know, it's my deal.
That's mine.
That's my
Wow.
deal.
That's not a rare occurrence. I'll put a condo or I'll put a house out there. Somebody will send it back to me $20,000, $30,000 more, not knowing that it's my deal. But that's how small the network of wholesaling and
Correct.
flipping paper and contracts
Got
in
it.
Rhode Island is.
Yeah.
But I'm a strong, and just hit the gas and go and don't stop. When you take your finger off, and I'm speaking solely to real estate. It's just all I know at this point. When you take your foot off the gas and you're out of the loop as far as what deals are going on, who's buying what, who's doing what, huge disadvantage in this market. Huge.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be in everybody's business. I want to know who's doing what, when they're doing it, and it might not sound like a lot, but it does further me and getting my deals done.
Well, you lose if you are not in the game, like entrenched, and you don't really understand values. You can lose so easily, right? So I know the value of. Thankfully, I sell so many that I know the value of pretty much every city in the state, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6 unit. I can tell you right away if it's close, right? I may be a little off, but not. But if I stepped out of the game for 6 months or took my foot off the gas, a lot can change in 6 months.
Yeah.
Big time.
A 6 could trade at 140 a door now and be down to 100 a door, and I could look at it and be like, oh, 675 is a good number. Whereas 6 months later, 550 is the right number.
Now, it might not sound like a big deal, but when you're doing I'm doing 50, 60 houses a year. He's doing way more than that. When you're off, when your numbers are off like that on a few houses, you'll feel it.
Yeah.
Dude, 20,000 lost a house on 50 houses, $1 million.
Yeah. Yeah. So momentum, motion, you just got to, and what you're doing is exactly what you need to do, right? I know you feel like you're spinning your wheels and you're wasting time. You're going to look at this house, bullshit, that house, but that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to get out there. Just plan on touching 100 houses before you do one deal.
Yeah.
But let me ask you. So you and I are doing something together now, right? How many houses have you sent to me, and what's my response?
I'm on that one. Usually,
Well, usually on it, but what else do I usually say to you?
slow down.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down. Let's get one done. Let's figure out where we land, because I don't need to. If I was a real like con artist, I'd be like, yeah, let's buy another one. Let's do another one, because I'll just make money off you. But I say to you every time, slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do one. Let's figure it out.
See how it unfolds.
See how it works.
Learn it,
See if you can make a couple bucks.
Mm-hmm.
See how your crew works, whatever, and go to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking to just hit it and quit it and make one deal, like 10 deals with you, and you lose everything, and you're like, fuck this guy. You know how many people would do that to you?
Yeah.
They would be like, yeah, go buy this, go buy that, go buy this. And I'm like, no, slow down.
Yeah.
You got to consider yourself fortunate to be so close to someone that actually has that sentiment, because a lot of people would just let you bury yourself.
Yeah.
A lot.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I tell you all the time, I'm like, I think that this is happening for a reason right now. I'm grateful that it's happening, and that, I don't even care if I don't make $1 on this deal. I know that sounds crazy, but
No, it doesn't.
But listen, this is like my training. This is how I'm going to learn this business. If I make this much money, I will get more out of this deal than that much. I'll at least know the foundation of where I need to start, where it's going to go, how, like, you got to put that time in order to keep doing more deals.
When the day comes that you feel like you're wasting your time, you're fucked. You're fucked.
Yeah.
Correct.
I do not feel like I'm wasting my time. I just sat outside the gym and talked to a kid for 45 minutes who has no real estate experience, but I can see he's hungry.
Yep.
And he's going to be somebody. So that 45 minutes is going to come. I guarantee you that 45 minutes is going to come back to me in some way, shape, or form. Maybe when I'm 65 years old, I don't know. But I'm going to make money with that kid. I can see the hunger in his face.
That was a question I was actually going to ask both of you guys. Is how do you see that a lot? Do you see a lot of potential in people, and you're like, I gotta figure out how to do something with this kid, and when he calls, I'm going to answer and give him my advice, because I understand that we're going to end up being able to do something.
We had this conversation before, and me and him kind of share the same. I think me and him are like a lot in a lot of ways. I can tell within 60 seconds whether you have it or you don't.
Yeah.
100%. If it's even worth me investing any more time, if I'm talking to you for a minute and I just know you don't have it. I checked out. I'm going to have respect for you, and I'm going to continue the conversation. I won't be rude. But I can tell that you just go work at Target, bro. It's not for you. This is not for you. I'm not saying you can't buy crypto or do whatever you do, but this is not for you. I can see you don't have the hunger. You know, you're not going to, spin the wheels and do what you have to do to get there. I can tell in a minute, 2 minutes.
Interesting.
For sure.
Yeah, same with me. I mean, I'll always give people the benefit of the doubt and always be like, hey, we all started somewhere. We all didn't know when we started. Give this person the right to have a conversation and hear him or he or she out and see what's going on. But at the end of the day, like, if you come at me with the wrong intention up front and your whole goal is just you think you're going to come in the game and just make a ton of money and you're just going to go out there and start scheming and scamming people and, I put it this way. I can tell from a few conversations, first of all, the first conversation, if they have it, but then how you interact with certain things that come up, whether you're a good dude or not, and I can really rock with you going forward. Because if there's any sign of you're trying to screw someone, I am going to distance myself far away from you, and you just go that way, and I'm going to go this way, and we'll go from there, because I don't want to be around it.
You'll be surprised how many people, walk up with those intentions, and they think you're going to be cool with it.
Nah, I can't do it. I can't let I can't take money from someone. I can't let someone lose money. Like, if we do a deal, I have a deal now with this guy. He invests usually like 20 or 25K with me here and there on flips. And the last 2 we've done with the flips have made money. So I gave him a return. He got like X% on his money. This one has been a disaster. Like 4 deals fell through. So he gave me 25 grand. So I'm going to give him back 30,000 in his 6 month period, which is a great return on his money, and just make him whole. And then I'll just eat the rest of whatever.
Even if you don't make money on the deal.
Yeah, it's just not right for him. It's not fair to him. He trusted me to do this deal. I'm not going to have him take a loss. That's not his business. And I'll wash it through in a bunch of other deals. It won't be a big deal.
Yeah.
So I'll give him a $5,000 return on 25K. And at the end of the day, I feel like I can't put someone in that position where they lose money. It's just not me, dude. I don't have it in me.
Yeah. Which is a rare scenario, because 90% of the people in this business would say, you made money on these 4 deals. It's an investment. You lost on this one. We'll get them next time.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
So I'm calling the guy tomorrow. I'm going to give him a check for 30 grand. And
I mean, that's why you're successful, man. It's just stuff like that.
I just can't. It's not in me, man. It's not even about real estate. It's just who I am.
It's a moral. It's a moral.
I cannot steal a dollar from someone.
What's one of the grimiest things you've ever seen somebody do for a deal?
Are you asking him or me?
Both of you guys. Whoever answers first.
I'll tell you mine. So I had a person that invested. Maybe, let's call it 20 grand, right? So they invested 20 grand in a deal that I was doing, right? And they wanted to come in and be a partner. And the deal lost, no bullshit, it lost $75,000. It was in West Greenwich. And I said to this person, I said, look, it might have been 25 grand. And I said, look, I'm going to give you a 10% return on your money either way. So
I gave 75.
So I gave them off of the 25. So we lost 75. The deal lost 75. So I'm already taking a 75K hit. And this person put up 25. And the deal was that they were going to get like 10% of the profit, because that was 10% of the purchase price. I said to them, I said, look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to make you take a loss. I'm going to cut you a check for, I think it was 30K or 27.5. So I gave her a 10% return on her own money. This person called the attorney general and called every lawyer she knew to sue me and try to go back at me because she didn't get a profit. And I'm like, we lost $75,000.
That's crazy.
She wanted a profit on something that didn't profit and wasn't happy with taking the 10% return. I'm like, I don't know what else to do here. Like, literally made it into this humongous, well, this is when all that other bullshit was going down, made it into this like humongous ordeal. And I'm like, I didn't have to give you anything. Like, we lost money. I'm making you whole. Before the deal even closed, I made the girl whole. And I said, if for whatever reason it fell apart and we made 100, I'll still pay you whatever you're owed.
And that's something that if it did go to court, you'd say, this lost 75 grand. I didn't have to give you anything. And theoretically, you didn't, right? Even if you didn't give her that,
right,
you would have been legally okay. Like, good.
Right. Legally okay to not give, never mind give a profit. So I gave you a profit on top of your initial investment on a deal that got crushed. and you still had the balls to go ahead and call every lawyer you've ever and like make it into this huge thing and cost me money for no reason. And I'm like, that just shows me right there. Some people are just so ungrateful.
Yeah, man.
It's really pathetic and sad.
Yeah.
Did she actually sue you? You had to respond with an attorney.
Yeah, absolutely. I had to
During
complain
all
with-
that other stuff.
During
so
everything else.
you were like, this is the last
I'm
thing
just
I need
like,
right
this
now.
is crazy. Like, this just sums up everything else I had to just go through. Like, it just sums it all up. Like, this is just another like during that whole other stuff, I had people. I sold houses to like 4 years ago where I flipped it, and let's say the boiler went last year. If you don't give me 10 grand for my boiler, I'm calling the AG.
Mm-hmm.
I had another guy that, listen to this one. I had a guy in New Bedford. He failed to close. It was a $10,000 deposit. 2 years ago, he didn't close on this house 2 years ago. And he was like, you know what? Keep the deposit. The seller was like, I got to keep the deposit. It was a cash deal. As is, where is, you didn't close. When all this other shit came out, if you don't give me my 10 grand, I'm going too.
Why didn't it close?
Wow.
Because the guy backed out. The buyer backed out. And then he wanted his deposit back 2 years later.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Dude, I had to give him the money back.
It's blackmail.
The boiler,
that is
I had to
really-
go ahead and buy the girl a new boiler. I'm like, you waived inspections 4 years ago. What does it have to do with right now? But I was in panic mode because I never been through anything like that. So I'm like, just cut a check. It was just check after check after check after check.
Yeah, because you don't want your name compromised.
Right.
You don't want to be
I'm
dragged
like,
into
I
that
already
stuff.
got
So it is a
stuck.
form of
I'm like,
blackmail.
I already
No,
got
it
caught in
actually
some
is.
nonsense that had nothing to do with me, that I didn't do anything wrong. Now I got 5 people that came out and are like, give me this or else. And I'm like petrified at the time, like, no, I don't want anything to do with this. So just cut them a check. But how scummy you can be. The deal I'm doing in Central Falls, the 30-unit building.
Mm-hmm.
My own partner, I found out, called the attorney general and tried to say I stole money from him. He has $0 in the deal. 0. I'm 7 figures in the deal of my own cash.
That's that big one that I saw.
0. Not $1. And he'll look me in my face at the project, doesn't know I know he called, look me in my face at the project and say, every morning I wake up and I pray to God that we're doing well, and I pray for you every day.
He called the
Those people are the ones to watch.
I'm like,
Seriously.
this is legit insanity. Like, I'm caught in insanity. This is fucking insane.
What was the point of calling the attorney general to say that you?
Yeah, what was he trying to get?
Oh, anything. Just anything. He just
Fishing if he
just
had to
anything.
sue.
Yeah, he would just file a complaint too to see if I'd give him something. I made a deal with that guy where I'm willing to give him now he has 0 in it. I'm gonna give him 50% of the profit of whatever we make. When he couldn't even go on the deed because he
Jeez,
couldn't get a
why'd you-
loan. Because he couldn't get a loan, he had to deed it to me because he couldn't get a loan to finish. I went and took on the loan. I paid $32,000 a month in juice. He pays fucking 0. He called the AG on me. I'm like, this is crazy.
So
like, this whole
what
game
made
is.
you want to even do the deal with him in the first place?
It was his deal.
It was his deal.
was
He
his
got
deal.
he got
Okay, so
stuck.
he
That's why he said he had to
transferred
deed it over
he
to him.
had the deal. He got stuck. He couldn't finish.
Got it.
So I
You
was
saw
like,
potential in the project. And
he
you're like, all right,
said
let's
to
do
me,
this.
come in. You don't have to put any money up. Come in and you can help me finish it. I just need to get a loan. So I'm like, okay, I can get the loan. Don't worry about it. Put it in my name. I'll get the loan and we'll go 50-50
Oh
on
my
the profit.
goodness.
2 weeks after that, he's like, I have no money at all. I need 100 grand. 3 weeks later, I need another 100. 3 weeks later, I need another. I'm like, this is.
And you were putting it in?
I'd have no choice. At
'Cause
that
you're
point, I
already
got a
wrapped in the
loan.
deal.
I got a loan for
Yeah.
$3 million.
Jeez.
That happens a lot in real estate. People will tell you they have money, and when it's time to perform, they don't have the money.
$0.
We see that I see that all the time. I've seen cases where lenders would commit to lending like a construction draw, and when they request the money, they don't have it. They don't have it. Yeah. So a guy says,
So they're just winging it and hope.
This guy got so bad that a couple weeks ago, he had to order cabinet, because we're almost done now, finally almost done. So you know how you have kitchen cabinet knobs?
Mm-hmm.
The total was $2,000. He wouldn't even put the $2,000 on his own card at Home Depot. He had Home Depot call me 50 times in like 10 minutes because I was in the middle of something, just to pay the $2,000 because he wouldn't put it in.
Damn, man.
Yep.
That's
And-
how
and
like
he's going to
peop-
feel entitled to 50% of that.
I'm a man of my word. I agreed to it. So I'm still going to give him 50% of the profit. But it's like, dude, you called the attorney general for what?
Jeez.
Because I put all the money in? You don't pay $1. The juice, $32,000 a month. You don't pay 1 penny of it.
Is he on site? Is he managing?
No,
Is he doing anything?
He's doing nothing.
Unfortunately, none of that surprises me. It's sad. But
Could you have just bought the contract from him? Could you have just done it differently?
I should have just ran away from him. But what happened was I felt bad for him. He had a deal that was pending. It fell apart. He came crying to me. He has no money. He needs help. His family's relying on this. I'm his only hope. I need to help him. If I don't help him, he's going to have a heart attack. He's in the hospital every night. I heard he's crying, a 70-year-old man crying in my office. And I'm like, all right, dude, like, I don't want that to happen to you. I'll get the loan. Let me get the loan.
If you don't mind, and you don't have to disclose it, what's the estimated yield on that?
Make like 2 cents by the end of it.
Really?
Yeah, by the end of this thing.
So you're going to split. He's going to make half of 2 cents.
Which is going to be even bigger problem because
Which
when
is
he
gonna be
sees
a
what
big-
I really have into it,
Now he's going to think you cooked the books on him. Or,
I have every dollar showed.
yeah.
I pay $32,000.
That's why I
a
ask
month.
you that, because I know how
think
this plays
realistically, I would say we're in it for 4.6, 4.7. It's probably worth 5.7, maybe.
What is he expecting?
Oh, he thinks he's making millions.
But after that, you get 4.7, and then
There's
you're at
fees in it.
5.7.
Yeah, there's-
You're already losing money off of.
Well, that 4.7 included what I'm in it for.
But I'm saying that extra mil, that's going to go towards all the fees. That's going to go towards everything that you've put up. That's
No,
that
4.7's with everything. When I say the 4.7, like that's everything.
What are you going to try to sell for 5.7?
Yeah.
Okay, but you're not really going to make.
No,
$1 million
you'll come out with 5.3, 5.4.
There's no money there.
There's not to
There's
do
no
all
money.
that to go
Yeah.
to a headache to have to come up with. Think about it like this: the stress I'm under every month to pay that juice every month, to worry about the guys to pay. That's just the juice.
Yeah.
Now you got 40 grand for electrician every month, 10 grand for contractor, 50 grand for materials. It's crazy.
There's no money there. And then get to the finish line, list it. You're holding it for another 2 months. Broker's fees.
Make everybody whole.
You got to try to rent it.
Taxes.
CO. We didn't even touch the parking lot.
Yeah.
We haven't touched the outside.
Yeah, there's no money there.
There's nothing there, dude.
Yeah.
And the guy doesn't understand. And I'm like, just buy me out. I mean, you can't buy me out.
So wholesaling, I do a lot of wholesaling. Wholesaling is probably one of the most grimiest businesses when it comes to real estate. And I had a guy one time sell a house to his wife, and he added an extra $30K on there. So, basically cooked his wife for 30 grand.
Without
his
her?
wife.
Really?
Yeah, without his wife knowing it, yeah. He went and opened up an LLC and didn't tell her, and then they put the LLC on the HUD.
And they're still married. They were married at the time.
They're married now.
Wow.
Yeah,
Imagine that, baby.
for 30 grand. You wouldn't know.
I just it's just some people are there's legit people that are crazy out there.
Yeah,
And
I
you
know.
know what I said to myself is no more partnering with people I don't know.
Yeah.
No more, like, if you can't put up half the money, I can't do it with you.
Yeah.
Like, you got to put up some of the bucks. I got to know who you are. And if I only have 2 partners for the rest of my life, so be it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I think I feel bad for people. Like, he literally was crying in my office. So I'm like, oh, man, like, this poor guy, like, he's an older guy, and he's a lunatic.
Yeah.
It's all a game. And I was too busy, and I fell for it.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, some people are just crazy, man, and I get that all the time with Horizon. It's like sometimes you just can't make them happy, no matter what you do. You can go back
Impossible.
100 times, you can do this, you can do that, and they're still gonna write a shitty review, and they're still gonna.
Impossible.
But when he comes back and he does another podcast a year from now, and he tells you the way it finished out with the guy, that's when the real fireworks are going to come.
Correct.
Because he hasn't even gotten to the worst part of the story. It's not here yet.
Correct.
But when that guy's family, like, I caught a lot of things he said. That guy's family is counting on that. He's probably out spending right now $1 million
He
that he
bought a
doesn't have.
Maybach.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
There you go.
Middle of the deal.
Yeah.
Oh,
I gave him
my
I wrote a
God.
$400,000 check for him to go to China to get material. Okay,
What?
right? He came back, and only excuse I heard was that the material's been on, what do you call those things? Containers, and the containers got stuck at sea. So we had to buy. He supposedly bought all the material. There was not one piece of flooring, one piece of molding. Everything I got from Home Depot. He didn't buy any material.
First of all, that's really cool that you have the foresight to be able to know to go to China to get material to get it for a cheaper discount. So with the flight, with the trip, with all that stuff, you were able to actually capitalize on a cheaper product going out to China.
He didn't.
We didn't
though.
get anything.
He didn't.
He
That's,
But
that's
okay,
not real.
I get that.
That's
but,
not real.
But that was the intention.
Yes.
Yeah, but
He
you have
was
to have a
telling me
connection
you
for
could
that.
get it correct. He was like, I can get it for 20 cents on
So
the
he
dollar.
was the one saying that he could go to China.
So I'm like, this is great. You can get it for a big discount. I even paid for the containers to be in Boston like 12 grand for the containers, but there was nothing in
There's
them.
no containers.
There's no containers.
You just gave him a vacation.
Correct.
You got
I
a
bought him
better
Maybach.
chance. You got a better chance of getting a connect for kilos
Correct.
than you do in China with a
No
container.
shot. They're not just walking to
No.
China. I don't know
And
anything
the-
about China,
and,
but
and the people that have the China connects, they're not giving them up.
exactly.
They will not give them up. My buddy who
How
I've been-
many non-Chinese people you think I got a China?
No.
Zero.
you know Hugh the cabinet guy?
Yes,
I've been
that's
trying to go to
crazy.
China
He's not
with him
giving you no
for
connect.
years. I've been trying to go. He will not bring me.
He's
Wow.
he's like the big dog with that. Like
Yep.
around
He
here.
will
the
I didn't
cabinet-
even know that was a thing. You're
Oh,
born-
no.
No,
That's
Hugh's the cabinet guy. Hugh's the man with that.
Yeah, and now he does floors and he does doors.
Everything.
And he's growing. And I mean he's actually a really nice guy and he's brilliant.
Great
He
guy.
borrows money from his people at very low interest rates and he buys containers and he's just buying for $1 and selling for $2. But
Great
will he plug you in?
But
Absolutely not.
when you operate like that, you're going to make more money in the long run, and you're going to protect your reputation at the same time. That's how that shit works.
In the way Hugh's operating, the cabinet guy.
If he's only making $1 on this, and he
Oh,
could
I
be
don't,
making
I don't know
more-
what he's making. I'm
But
just saying.
that's how. If you operate that way, man, in the
He's not
long
going to
run,
plug
you're
you
gonna.
in, no. Nobody's going to give up their connect.
no.
Yeah.
And China is a connect. China's a connect. Yeah. So when he said he wrote a check for him to go to China, I would have been like, I'm coming with you. I 100% would have went with him because to go to China and buy a container of
But
flooring.
remember, I'm doing 50 things at once. So
Yeah.
it's like I'm just like at that time when we started this project, brokerage was humming. Everything was moving a million miles an hour. Everything's going. We got flip. We got this. We got that. We're helping clients. We're selling this. We're selling. So to me, it's just like I take your word for it. There's no reason for you to lie. Go get the stuff. We're on the same team. And you know what? I wish him well, and I hope this thing ends in the best way, and we both make a couple bucks and move on. But it just taught me a heck of a lesson.
At the end, when it's all said and done, are you going to call him out and go into the attorney general?
Nope.
You would just leave it alone?
Let it be.
I'm the same way. Just let it go.
I'm
Well,
gonna
I
let
mean,
it
you
be.
kind of already did.
Huh?
You
Oh,
just
yeah,
did.
Probably.
he won't 70-year-old. He won't see this.
True.
He won't see
But
this.
I'm it's not even worth it.
No, it's
It's
not.
even worth it. It's just the fact that you would do that to someone. It's just when all this nonsense went on, it was just everyone and anyone was their go. I mean, I still hear it. I'm calling. I'm like, because of what? What did I do? I didn't do anything. Oh well, I just want to. Well then, okay, call them. I don't know what to tell you.
Jeez, those people just suck. They suck, and
There's more of them than you
there's a
think.
lot. Yeah,
There's
no,
a lot
there's
of
a lot.
them, dude.
Yeah, we come across a lot of scammers.
What do you got going on right now? You got that the Walter King Enterprise the development. You got 3 houses going up, right?
I'm building right now 8 houses in Providence.
8 houses.
Yeah,
now.
5 right there, 3 in a couple other spots.
You just got the new spot.
So right now I'm focusing all my building. I mean, I'm going to the auctions. I'm buying. I'm still doing lending money. You know, every aspect that I do. But I'm focusing right now on building in Providence. Providence is wide open. We are now in like the CNC era of building real
Really?
estate.
I
yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
land,
Yeah.
finding land in
Yeah.
Providence.
People are moving from other states to Providence to
Yeah.
build. Providence is one of the best cities to develop real estate in the country, as far as the cost of building, the cost of land, and the yield that you'll return.
Really?
Absolutely.
I've got 396 units in development or pre-construction right now
Yeah.
Wow.
Providence is the best, in my
In
opinion.
Providence?
in Rhode Island.
In Rhode Island?
I think that if you live anywhere close to Providence and you're in real estate and you're not building in Providence, you're missing out on a good opportunity because there are almost no laws as far as building. You can build a house on a 2,000 square foot lot. I mean, there's a guy right now in Federal Hill building a 9 unit on a 2,000 square foot
Just
lot.
straight up.
On
Straight
Federal
up.
Hill?
50
Federal Hill,
feet high.
right next to Pastiche.
Really?
Yep,
Yeah,
9
just
units.
straight up. I mean, the other thing too is there's such a demand for housing right now and honestly, like I look at it like this. You could say whatever you want, but there is a huge need for housing. There's a huge need for affordable housing. So we started the ADU company that we're really ramping up right now, and the amount of people that are interested in and that have signed contracts with us and that have agreed to build out an ADU either on their premises attached to the house or off the premises is just crazy. And
How's
I
that
think
work for you?
Phenomenal.
No, but you have a company.
Is this the tiny homes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a company, Any Tiny Homes. And what we've done is we do 2 things. So we are corporately run, whereas myself and my 2 partners own the Rhode Island franchise.
Mm-hmm.
We're now working on opening 5 franchises in Massachusetts in the next 12 months, and we'll be trying to go across the country. So
But
it's...
how does it work though? I have a house
Mhm.
and I have a single family and I got a good yard and a backyard. And
So 2 things. So one, we've got to make sure that within the zoning that we could put a tiny home in the back.
Mhm.
The most common what we're seeing is if you have a garage, we're converting your garage into an ADU.
Gotcha.
That's the most I would say 80% of what we're doing right now is garage conversions. And we're going everywhere from, even though it's Mass, from Seekonk down to Narragansett to Woonsocket. We're all over the place.
Yeah. Laws in Rhode Island right now are the easiest.
That
as
just
far as
passed, right?
ADUs.
Correct. And Mass too, though. Mass just passed in last June.
Are they pre-constructed homes that you
Nope.
bring, so you build them on site?
Yep. So they're all stick built. What we're looking to do on the franchise level is to have like a low end, a middle range, and a high end.
So you're connecting right to their water and sewer, right in their driveway. Yep.
So what does a property like that cost?
So you could be anywhere on that, anywhere from like $120 to $160.
That's the purchaser's price?
That's the homeowner's
The
price.
homeowner's price?
To get
That's not bad.
No, it's good.
That's a really good price, right?
Some can be in the twos. I mean, they all depend on finish work, though.
That's a hell of an ADU. So that's a garage on the
That's
first floor.
Correct.
I build those. I'm on my third one.
So it's good.
Yeah.
So the one that we did in Warwick, where the speaker was at, and we did a nice kind of ribbon cutting. She had a garage that we converted into a loft style ADU, and it was absolutely beautiful. It came out absolutely gorgeous.
So that's a incredible selling point, isn't it? So that kind of opens up the market like in a big way to people that already own properties that you can now build ADUs.
It's the next level of house. It's to his point, like the ability to build and construct and develop is huge, and that's what it is.
So I look for land. A typical lot in Providence is around 3,200 square feet. If I can find a lot that's 4,000 or even 5,000 square feet with a house on it, there's a potential for an ADU there. You could build.
And you're knocking on the door.
Yeah, I'm knocking on the door, yeah. And I'm only offering them what the house actually be worth, not the additional land, even though it comes with it. And then what I'll do now, well, what I was doing in the past, I don't have to do this now. What I would do is I would build a garage with an office up top and then go back and have it a pre-existing non-conforming structure transitions into an ADU. So it would be a garage with an apartment on top. And we can do that on all these houses. And I'm on my third one right now. Yep, just like that.
How did you get those deals? Literally knocking on the door?
No, so I stumbled upon those. I've never did like a driving for dollars or a cold calling. I just happened to buy a house and it had a decent amount of land. So I'll go to the city and say, hey, can I build a garage here? And if you put an office in, that will allow you to put a water and sewer in because they're not going to give you a permit to build an ADU. Back then they didn't. This was 2 years ago. So I'll build a garage with an office, and the office has storage space. And then once it's a pre-existing non-conforming structure, then we can turn that into an ADU. We can turn that into an accessory dwelling unit. So now you have a garage, which people don't know, garage rents just as good as a house, as an apartment. I mean, for a decent-sized garage, 24 by 50, $1,500 a month, $1,800 a month. And let me tell you something, way less headaches.
Way less headache.
No phone
I would
calls at all.
imagine. Yeah, I would imagine because they're not there.
It is a
obviously,
true
as much.
passive unit. You just collect money every month. There's not much they can complain about with a garage. You just have to make sure they're not running a body shop or no shit out of there.
Yeah.
But other than that, ideally you want to rent it to somebody who's going to rent the apartment and the garage and use the garage for their parking for their home, which they're out there.
Yeah.
And you have a very cheap. There are tons and tons and tons of deals out there. People say that the market is saturated. No, there are deals. You just have to get out there and find them. You got to think outside the box, especially in Providence. Providence of all places. There's more deals right now than I know what to do with. Yeah, they're out there.
Does your stance still stand as far as three families? Owning them is probably not the best idea to earn passive income?
I think three families are great to own. I don't think they're great to build.
Are they good to own revenue-wise, like to refinance, to use that money for other ventures?
Well, it depends what did you pay for
or
it. It depends on how much.
hold of asset?
Well, it depends on what you're into it for.
Yeah.
I think the only way it makes sense is if you're going to live in it.
Really?
A three-family right now in any part of Rhode Island, the only way it makes sense if you're going to live in it. And I think for someone that's going to live in it, it makes a lot of sense. But as an investor, unless you're 1031ing from something, unless you're doing a 1031 into a way better area and you want to just have a very steady income stream and you got a bunch of cash to put down, I think from an investor standpoint, you could put it this way. You can buy a 6 in Providence for the same price as a 3. A brand new 3 could sell for $825, and I know someone who just sold it.
Sure.
A brand new 3-family for $825, and I could probably find you 10 6-families right now in the state that sell for under $800.
So you're getting the same price, more income.
Correct.
I'm under contract with a 2-family in South Providence for $720. No way that's an investment. No way.
Say that again? What is it?
I'm under contract. I'm selling a new construction
For
home
$720.
that I'm building, and it's under contract. It's closing on the 2nd. And I'm selling it for $720,000. There's no way that will perform as an investment property. No. That's a family that's looking for a little reprieve on rent, maybe pay $500 less than what they would normally pay. But now, I mean, it's not even in my best interest to say this, but because I build multis, but so you're getting, $500 off your rent because you have a renter who's going to pay you $3,200 or whatever. But now you have all the responsibilities and the headaches if they don't pay the rent, and that can go from bad to worse real fast.
Yeah.
When one bad tenant will ruin you.
Agreed.
Yeah.
2 or 3 as an investor, forget it. I'll just say this.
Some of the stuff that I see you post is incredible. What they leave you with.
Oh, you have no idea.
No, I'm saying what they leave you with.
Oh,
what some of these
yeah.
renters leave you with.
You have no idea. Dude, the stuff that some of these tenants can put people through is absolute insanity.
Yeah.
It should be illegal, bro. They should
There's
be able to be charged for shit like that.
nothing you can do.
At the end of the day, it is our fault because we're busy.
Correct.
And we don't have time to stay on top of them. So that gives them opportunity to screw us over.
Yeah, but what are you going to do? Even if you did have the time, you can't babysit people on how they live.
You want to hear a funny story? I own a bunch of stuff. I've owned a ton of stuff for a long time, 3s and 2s and whatever. And I had a big portfolio with my ex-wife, and we're selling them all off now. And I was very hands-off in that. We had a property management company, and we're amicable. We get along. We're fine. So we both had this company that was managing it. And I was helping this woman buy a single family in Seekonk. And I'm helping her buy the house, whatever, good, everything's good. And at the end of it, my ex-wife texts me randomly. She's like, hey, did you sell that house near the YMCA in Seekonk to so-and-so? And I'm like, yeah, why? How the hell would you know that? And she's like, that was one of the tenants that's $7,000 behind from paying us on this property that never paid. So she was getting evicted in one of the units.
You were evicting her and selling her house.
And helping her. I had no idea.
His commission was his rent.
I had no idea that was the same. Because I don't pay attention to the rentals just kind of do their thing. And there's a problem. So she bought a house with me. I don't think she knew either. And we were wicked friendly. It was a great transaction. Everything went fine. And then come to find out there was a judgment against her for $7,000 from me.
Wow.
As she was the tenant.
Of the house that she was getting.
Of a different house. She was getting evicted from a different house.
He was evicting her. He just didn't know it.
I didn't know it, and she didn't know it.
So
we worked together on the whole deal, and neither one of us.
Know you owned the house?
No,
she knew.
He
didn't know.
I didn't know. No, she didn't know either.
She didn't know you owned it?
No, I never been in the house. So
that's crazy.
So we get to the end, and no one said anything.
How'd you guys find out?
I don't think she still knows.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't have known if my ex-wife didn't say, hey, is that the person's name? She's the one that we were evicting on whatever house it was.
What was the commission on it?
I know.
It was probably about $7,000.
That's
but
wild.
it was absolutely wild. I'm like, this is crazy. She's able to buy a house and stiff the landlord $7,000 on whatever.
So stuff like that you won't even bring up though. It's like you hear about it, see you later, done, move on.
It's
to the next
not worth
one.
it, dude.
The thing is, you're dealing with people that do this their whole life.
If you want to win like that, then that's on you.
No, right.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not.
But I would say one last thing on my end. I would say that we're talking about bad things. There's plenty of good people in real estate.
Yeah.
There are a lot of good people. Walter's one of the great ones out there. There's a lot of really great investors. Yeah. I've got in this game way after a lot of other people I know. Last time Walter and I were on a podcast, I was wrong. He was in about the same time as me. But there's a lot of people that have been doing this for such a long time, whether they're lenders or developers or agents, and they do a great job, and they deserve a ton of credit because without them paving the way, people like myself, people like Walter don't exist.
For sure.
So there's so many people that are out there that are good.
Yeah.
It's just the bad ones that stick out.
Yeah.
Right, of course.
We did talk a lot about the bad people today, but there's so many good upstanding people. Yeah.
Who did you learn a lot of your stuff from?
So my mentor, so I've only been in real estate 10 years, and I met a guy, and a lot of people are going to know him. His name is Lou Bacchetti. You know Lou Bacchetti.
Yeah.
I met him. I had no idea about real estate, and real estate isn't, the concept of real estate is not what drew me in. The concept of hard money lending, lending out money for a high interest yield, that's what drew me in. And I was borrowing money from him to buy a home. It was a house that I was going to live in, which a lender's not supposed to lend on your primary residence, but he did. And I was so intrigued by lending at a 12% interest rate. And I'm like, wait a minute. I give you $100,000 and I get $1,000 every month. You can live off that. And
you got to have that capital though, obviously.
You don't have to have the capital. You have to have access to the capital.
Okay.
And that's something that a lot of people have and they don't know that they have. You know, you don't realize it, but you're driving a car with equity. You're living in a house with equity. You're wearing a Rolex. So you probably have $100,000 right there in equity that you don't even know that you have.
Yeah.
So if people learn to tap into that and use that money and leverage it and borrow against it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are a lot richer than they think they are.
Yeah.
It's just arbitrage.
Yeah, moving
That's all it
moving
is.
stuff around. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when our fund, like we would raise for 10% and then lend it at 13% and then gain the points. So it's just an arbitrage game, and it's perfectly fine and legit. And I think to Walter's point, yes, Lou, I don't know Lou like that, but he was in the game for a long time. There's 100 Lou Burkettis out there that have been doing this thing. They're way better than us, have done it way longer than us, and understand it way more than us. But, you know, it is what it is. I think some people hit a point where they're like, they're smart enough to realize the game's over for me. And what I mean by that is they just say, I made enough money. I don't need the headaches anymore. I've invested it correctly.
That's right.
I can take a step back and do something else, or I can enjoy my life.
When's your time?
I think I'm the one that's not smart enough to realize the game's over. I just keep going. I thought about there's one thing recently that really, really hit me and stuck with me. And honestly, when I'm like, why don't I just say sell everything and call it quits? This one thing I read on Instagram was like, I will never, ever forget it. This guy, he sold Minesweep, Watch, something, some game, whatever the fuck it was.
Minesweeper or something
he
like
sold
that.
it for like $2 billion.
Oh, Minecraft. I think I saw what you were about to say. Yeah.
He sold it for $2 billion to Microsoft.
And he was
A
miserable.
year later, he committed suicide.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know why he committed suicide?
He had no purpose.
You just fucking hit it.
Yeah.
He had no purpose.
Yeah, we all need purpose.
Here's the thing. If you stop now and you lose the purpose, what's left? And what happens is if you don't have the chase in the game and you lose the journey and the passion for it, you lose your purpose, you start to age, you start to fall, you basically start to decline on everything. And I saw it I didn't see it with my own parents, but I did. They had a business they sold. And once the purpose was gone, it was chaos. It became controlled chaos. And two people that were together for 50 years didn't know what to do with themselves. And I'm like, this is why I'm not even close to ready to retire. Now, I hired her. My mother works for me, and my dad works for me, and it's been great. But it took a while to figure that thing out. Like, I was like, my job now is to give back to them and employ them and let them kind of figure out what the next purpose is.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
But I'm like, after seeing those two things, I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm not quitting. I'm still going, man. I got a long way to go.
We complain about our phone. Me and him talk sometimes, and we complain about our phone ringing because sometimes the phone just doesn't stop. But we would really complain if it didn't ring.
What did I say?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Really be hurting if it didn't ring.
It would be misery.
Misery.
What's one of the things that I said to you a while ago about my phone? About what I want with my phone?
What you wanted to always.
I want that shit to be ringing.
I can
nonstop.
promise you, you're
Mine's
gonna.
you be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, because you're gonna want to slam it.
I mean, it does, but
slam it
I
into your
definitely
face.
pick and choose on what
I want to blow my brains out half the time.
Yeah.
But Walter's point, what he just said, is what it takes for me to come back and be like, this is what you wanted. Because if I'm home, let's just say it's let's say Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is probably one of the only days where no one works. Or Christmas. Nobody works. Those 4 hours on Thanksgiving where no one's doing anything, I'm ready to blow my head off.
Yeah.
No one's calling, no one's texting, no one's doing anything. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do.
Yep.
There's no projects. There's no deals. There's no activities. There's no nothing.
How about a vacation?
2 days and I'm done.
You cannot
Vacation.
take a vacation.
Vacations.
You're looking for shit to do on your phone.
I'm in the closet.
Yeah.
Talking on the phone, texting, whatever. She's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm in the bathroom.
Yeah.
She's like, for 2 hours? Yeah, I don't feel good.
Same way.
That's what happens when you have a need to be productive.
Correct.
I just
Anyway,
love it, though. I
It doesn't
love
matter
being
if you're
productive.
sending letters with pigeons.
Yeah.
Correct.
You just have to be productive. You have to do for your own to feed your own need. You have to feel like you're doing something productive.
Yeah, I love it. I love the chase. I love it.
But there's a level where it becomes very unhealthy.
Yeah.
And I've hit that level.
Where your head just hurts at the end of the day.
It's beyond
your
that.
eyes
it's
are
where
burning.
it's where you honestly, when I catch myself snapping on people, and this is why a lot of people don't like me. I can be very quick and like brash or whatever the word is. Like I can be like, all right, yep, okay, bye, okay, bye, okay, bye. And it's like you're like the 100th person I've talked to in the last 3 hours. So I just need a minute.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just trying to, and you're asking me a stupid question. I just need a second. Like, the question really doesn't need to be asked on the phone call. You could text me.
Yeah.
So if you could just give me a second, I just need a second.
Yeah.
For you to understand what he's saying, you'd have to actually live that.
Correct.
And when I say that, I mean, you ever be in a rush?
I'm in a rush all day.
But just
All
all
day,
day long, hurry up and get there. And then you're eating cold food.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right? And then you don't even get to sit down and enjoy a meal.
Yep.
And you don't get to have a good conversation.
Yep.
And then if you do spend 20 minutes on the phone with somebody talking about something you genuinely talking about, you feel like the day's passing you by. You feel guilty for spending 15 minutes talking to this guy who you actually enjoy talking to as opposed to people that you have to talk to.
Yep.
And and then you just crash at 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. You're just like, oh my God. Like, it doesn't even matter what you got done, but you just get pulled in so many different directions.
Yeah.
You know, and people don't understand this. This is something that should be said. Investing in real estate is stressful, right? Going to an auction or looking at a property, putting a deposit, second guessing yourself, fuck, did I fuck up? Am I going to lose money in here? That shit wears your energy down. Like, imagine all day long contemplating with yourself, did I make a mistake? Am I going to lose money? How am I going to explain to this guy in Central Falls the money's not there, what he thinks is there? That drains your energy from your body.
You know what it is about real estate too, and I mean I'm just speaking from what I know, which isn't a lot, but it's a very wait and see game. So you have a lot of time to think about that deal and if it's going to go good, what you're going to do, plan it out.
So me and him are alike in a lot of ways. And if you called me and you said, hey, I got a house for sale, and I said to you, bro, I'll take it. Whether I signed a contract or I didn't, I committed to buying the house. I'm going to buy the house. Now I'm like, fuck, damn, how am I going to do this?
Right.
Man,
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
All right,
Correct.
listen, hey, bro, I'm going to give you 5 G's.
Correct.
Just because I told you I was going to take the house. I'll give you $5,000, but I don't want the house. That drains your energy. It ain't even about the money.
Yeah.
But that drains your energy.
You know, in 12 years, I never backed out of a deal. Even if it was the world's shittiest deal in the world. If I've agreed to do something, I'm not back. I'll rather take an L than go against my word.
Yeah,
but those
that's
people
awesome.
won't stand up and say, oh, you know, he did a deal. He knew
Correct.
it wasn't. Those people wouldn't stand. It's the people that are going to say, you know, like the guy in Central Falls. But the people that are going to say, man, you know, I knew that it wasn't a good deal, and he knew it wasn't a good deal, and he still closed it, and he made something happen. He's a good guy for that. You won't see those guys anywhere.
When all this other crap went down, I had 6 private loans that were closing in the next week. All 6 of the loans got pulled because they were all they were all nervous because they read it. They were like, well, "This guy, what the hell? We didn't think he was like this." I'm like, "Dude, really?"
They made it sound like you were
That's
losing.
bullshit.
They sound like So
They made it sound like
think
you were
about
losing
this.
your license and
All 6 got pulled. I had to find a lender in 1 week to take on all 6 deals with 0 leverage. I can't be calling the shots at that point, right? And I closed on every fucking one of them. I did not default on one contract. I closed on 6 deals and had to put up insane amount of capital when I was getting 100% financing because I lost that lender. So 6 deals in a week I got funded and I had to put up all, and I still didn't back out.
One thing people don't understand about this business is building credibility with a lender is so hard.
And
Yeah.
It's so hard. You can do 100 deals with a guy, and then he's just like, no, I don't like this deal. Like, bro, what about me? Like, you don't like me? You did 1 million deals with me. Yeah, I don't want to do this one. And it's like, what the fuck? How many deals we do together?
So you feel strong about the deal, but if he doesn't, you feel some type of way because you've already formed a relationship with him.
They'll be quick to show you who you are to them and how much you mean to them.
Yeah.
Where you think you're building a relationship with them and a friendship and some sort of a camaraderie, and it's like, no, I can get whatever I want out of this guy. He'll lend me money to do whatever, and then he'll pull your card quick.
Bro, I learned that during this whole thing. I had a grant with Rhode Island Housing for $1.5 million on that project. I worked with them for 12 months to get everything in line for this grant. Now I was doing everything, and this would be the first big development I ever did, so I didn't really know what they wanted. So we met at the site, we were on Zoom calls, all this stuff. The article comes out on whatever day, right? They pull the grant and say, "Oh, the grant expired. Sorry." A week after this comes out, and I'm like, "The grant expired.
Yeah, okay.
We just talked last week, and you said to me, don't worry. Once you get the CO, we'll just cut you the grant money. Don't worry about it." So the grant expired in a week when you never said anything. So it's funny how people turn without even knowing the real story, because now that they know what really happened, they're like, "Oh shoot, sorry is not good enough," too late for sorry.
Yeah.
Like, we're beyond sorry. Like, you didn't even let me talk and explain what really happened here and what this is all about. You just assumed. Even with that other lender, like, they crawled back and were like, we'll do anything. What is it going to take? I'm like, dude.
After the time went
show
by,
me who you are.
What did you learn out of that whole experience?
You just never know what can happen and change, and you got to be ready for whatever. And even if you have the best intentions in the world, people are always going to try to take you down, and you just got to be ready for it and be more. I mean, I still to this day, there was nothing done that was wrong. But I think I just learned that things can change on a dime, and you just got to be ready to adapt and be flexible. And I think outside of that, you see who you really see who really in your corner when shit really hits the fan. And you have two options. You lay down or you get fucking better and you come back even stronger than you were before. And what it did to me is it made me so much fucking better.
Yeah, that's what it's
so much better
in every aspect.
In every aspect, it gave me the fire back. I'm like as focused as I've ever been. I'm more energetic. I'm more helpful for people. I'm trying to go above and beyond for the clients. It's like it just brought this sense of like urgency back that I didn't have. So at the end of the day, that's what it came down to. But there's a lot of people that want to take you down. There's a lot of people that don't want to see people do well, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
We're starting to get it a lot.
What did I say to you? And someone said to me I was crazy. I'm like, you're going to be someone that people want to take down. I told you that.
Yeah.
Did I not?
Yeah.
Which
I
is
said
sad.
it to you.
You think that
It
people
is
would
sad,
want to see
dude.
you
It
do
is
well.
fucking sad. Because like,
And they don't know you.
Yeah, and I just don't even think like that. We don't think like that
Me neither.
whatsoever, man. What do I say? My favorite. What are my favorite comments?
The trolls.
I love the hate comments, and I don't know why, but I think it's just a sense of like.
I think I told you that before, right?
I don't know,
That told you that?
maybe, but
And I
it's-
said embrace that.
I do, and they're
Maybe
my
it was
favorite
Moss
ones to
I
look
said
at
that
because
to.
I understand.
It was Moss.
It was Moss, yeah.
I understand that on the other side of that hate, they're still watching, they're still paying attention, and they
All publicity is good publicity.
It is.
Yeah.
Let's jump on content for a minute. I mean, your content it's some of my favorite content on social
thank you.
media,
Thank
and it
you.
was even before I even knew you. I think somebody put in the YouTube channel like, interview Walter King. Go, and I
Appreciate
looked
that.
into your stuff, and so how important is social media to you guys and what you do?
So I do make money from social media.
You do now?
Oh yeah, I've always
From
made money.
Instagram?
Absolutely, yeah.
It from
My-
monetization?
No, it's from networking. So my first
He's saying he makes money from people following.
Got it.
him.
Yeah,
Got it.
no.
Yeah.
my
Same.
first introduction to making generating revenue from Instagram was I somebody pitched a piece of land to me. This was like, I don't know, 2019. Somebody pitched a piece of land to me. I drove to the land. I put a picture up and I posted on Instagram and said, hey, anybody interested in this, call me. People started calling me for that land. I made like $50K off that.
Yeah.
I found a buyer before I put it under contract myself. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like this is a real commodity that I can use to generate money.
Yeah.
So I've never really truly embraced it as far as the marketing aspect, as far as selling properties. I actually don't like putting properties for sale because I'm a wholesaler and I feel like it diminishes the value. So basically what I'll do is if I put a house on Instagram, and I say, $500,000 and then you try to move it for $520, it's going to hurt you. You understand?
Yeah, because
Like
they
what
already,
we said
because
earlier,
they already know that
your
you're posting
property
for
will come back
500.
to you.
Yeah.
People add 5, 10, down the line, push it, you, her, him. So I don't like to put the numbers because I don't want to hurt other people's pockets.
Set them up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I very rarely will I post houses, but I did learn that you can make money from this. My Instagram to me is when I operate effortlessly on Instagram and I just put an average day, and just kind of educate people on how to build and the stuff that I do, I feel like I do better that way. Organic.
Yeah.
As far as like being like staged and scripted.
100%.
And,
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think that's what people want now.
So some of the stuff that we put a lot of time into, it does nothing, and then it's the stuff that we'll just
Correct.
post out of nowhere and it blows up. Housewives coming to Rhode Island.
Oh,
What do you guys think about that? You guys think it's going to do anything in the market? You guys think it's going to bring an influx of business? What do you think?
I think it's not going to affect us in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it's nothing.
No. It's going to be cool to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish them the best and hope it works for them.
Yeah.
They're going to kill it.
Yeah, I'm
They're
sure
gonna
they
kill
are.
it,
I think
dude.
so.
Yeah.
I hope they make us look good.
Yeah.
Hope they make us look good.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be like,
dude, the hate comments that I'm seeing on that is insane.
What do you expect?
It's just getting started.
Crazy.
It's just getting started.
Crazy.
I mean,
But that's what you sign up for.
Yeah.
One thing I do think is, and this is not directed towards the people themselves, but I think the dynamic of the people, I think that they've created a bit of a shit show.
Yeah.
Because the people are already kind of against each other.
That's what they want.
And I think there's going to be a lot of drama. Yeah, they're creating a lot
That's
of
what they
drama.
want.
So I think they are, I mean, to us, it's not going to look bad, but maybe to outside states, it's going to kind of make Rhode Island look like a little bit of a Guido-y shit show kind of thing.
At least they're better looking than the New Jersey housewives. So
Yeah.
it'd be
Yeah,
better to
I don't
look
even
at.
know what any of those women look like.
I don't either. I never watched the show.
Me neither.
No, Rhode Island. I've
we
never
know a
looked
few
them
of
up. I'm going to
yeah.
wait for the show. I've never.
Yeah.
But I think Rhode Island is so small that we all know somebody who knows somebody
Yep.
that's, on their boat or,
Yeah.
we all have some ties to them some sort of way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I am excited about it.
Let's do some quick plugs. Kyle, what do you got coming up in the future? Where can we find you?
Yeah, I mean, you guys know all social media, Instagram, Facebook. Just search my name, Seyboth Team, Century 21 Limitless. We're doing a lot of good stuff.
Got the podcast now?
Podcast is up and running. Brokerage is cranking. We're back right around 200 agents. Obviously, we had some people leave, which was a good thing. But we brought in some really great people. Sales are going well. Everything is on the up and up, and we just keep moving forward. The ADU space is exciting, is interesting, and watch out for any tiny homes coming to a franchisee near you.
Walter, what do you got?
I just want to buy your land. Anybody out there wants to sell land, I'm the guy. That's it. Follow me on Instagram. I'm on Property Plug. But I want to buy anything for sale in Providence right now. Providence is my place. Yeah.
Babe, you got anything?
Got any land? I'll take it.
But I learned a lot from this episode.
Yeah,
so
good
thank
episode,
you, gentlemen.
guys. Appreciate you guys coming on Memorial Day.
Appreciate you.
Have a
Thanks,
great rest of the
guys.
day. Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Appreciate you all.